Yo, what is going on, car people of this world? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a beautiful day here in New Jersey. We are currently in the Lexus LS430, the beast of the streets. And today we're gonna talk about the 5 things I absolutely hate about my Lexus LS430. Now, before I go anywhere, I can already see you guys starting to type away about how blasphemous the idea of a hate the Lexus LS430 video is, and I agree with you, I really do. And to be completely honest, this is one of the hardest videos I've ever had to make, simply due to the fact that it is so difficult to find things I don't like about this car. If you guys are new to the channel, my name is Sam. Obviously, this is my Lexus LS430, but I also have a Lexus LS460. About a year and a half ago, I made a video on the Lexus LS460 about the 5 things I don't like about that car, and wow, did I hear it from you guys. I'm sure that some of you who viewed that video are back to check out this video, so for those of you who are returning, welcome back, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say about my top 5 list of what I hate about this car. One more thing before we get into the list. This is things I do not like about my car, okay? This car is 20 years old. It's from 2005. This thing, in my personal opinion, is still better than most cars that are brand new today with 214,000 miles on this specific unit. I would take this any day over most brand new cars. So with all that to be said, let's get into reason number 1 that I hate my Lexus LS430. Alrighty. So we're running around doing a bunch of errands today while we're making this video. So at stop 1, we'll touch on the first point. Number 1 being the rear subwoofer is very problematic on these cars, and mine is not an exception. My sub, totally shot, listening to music. You know, it's not part of the luxury feel that you get with the rest of the car. So that's my number 1 problem. Well, that's my first problem with this car, is the rear sub is not working. Now, it is something that seems to be quite simple to fix. I've already taken off that rear panel back there. So it shouldn't be too hard to get out the old one and put a new one in. I have checked out a couple videos on it before, but that is line item number 1 for me on my list. I'd be curious to see, those of you who have LS430s, do you have the same problem? And if you do, did you get it replaced, and what did you replace it with? I wouldn't be opposed to getting an aftermarket subwoofer for this car as opposed to getting the OEM one. It'll probably be cheaper and possibly better than the OEM sound system. So for those of you who did get it replaced, let me know which ones you guys would recommend. I'd greatly appreciate it. Number 2 on the list is going to be the fidgety electronics. Now, this car was way ahead of its time, so naturally it's going to have some problems when it comes to all of the electronical things, but that is going to be number 2, unfortunately, on my list. Just for some examples, the steering wheel no longer telescopes out. Sometimes it did, but now it just kind of stopped working altogether. The mirrors, sometimes the mirrors will dip down when you go in reverse, sometimes they won't. Currently, my mirrors do not work oh, now they do. Oh, it just went down and now it won't go back up. As I was getting ready to film that clip, I was messing with it and it didn't work. So sometimes the mirrors work, sometimes the mirrors don't work. Sometimes that back right seat there, sometimes that will extend out, other times it won't. So the electronics are just all around kind of fidgety, which is unreliable to say the least. The radio, when I go to turn down the volume, it actually turns it all the way up to volume 40, which is very strange, and that happens every once in a while. It's inconsistent on its malfunction. Sometimes the rear refrigerator, when I have the AC working, it makes this really loud screaming noise. Let's see if we can maybe get it to do it. It's starting to do it now. Yeah, fidgety electronics, that's number 2 for me. Just pulled back up to the house for the 3rd reason that I don't like the Lexus LS430, and that is going to be for these original wheels that we have here. This is actually probably my best looking one. But if we come back to over here on the front right of the car, we can see how the clear coat is just chipping super bad. Or that actually might even be paint. And it just starts to bubble all around on the wheels. So that's something that I'm not a fan of on these wheels. I do actually really love these 5 spokes. I think that they're super cool. And if I were to ever get aftermarket wheels for this car, I think that I'd stick with a 5-spoke pattern, just because I think it complements the car quite well. It holds a very luxury feel to it, and well, I wouldn't want to get rid of that. So the number 3 thing that I don't like about this car are the wheels and the situation that we've got going on here with them chipping and starting to erode. Just not very cool. We are currently off to go grab my motorcycle tank because we're gonna have to get it painted a different color than what it currently is. But while we're on our way over, it is a perfect time to talk about reason number 4 I don't like my Lexus LS430, and that is the shifting problem that it has at low speeds. So this is very minor, but you'll notice that it has a very strange like slip in the shifting when you're at low speeds. So we're coming up to a stoplight up here. Let's take a look and see if maybe we can get the car to act up. All right, so here we go. Let's take a look at the RPM gauge here. Oh, of course it's not slipping now. So that's good, but bad case for the video. Also, for those of you who don't know about this car, you'll notice the Christmas tree assortment of lights that we have up there on the dash. If you haven't seen the process that I've gone through to get the car to where it's at, take a look at this album of videos that I've created, and then you'll get the whole backstory of, well, why all of this is here. To keep a long story short, this car sat abandoned for 5 years. It was not running when I picked it up. I picked it up and, well, I'm currently bringing it back to life. So there's a couple problems up here. The check engine light is a catalytic converter leak. Traction control is stuck off. I'm not too sure why. And the AFS off flashing sensor is because we're on aftermarket air suspension. So that's all stuff that we gotta get taken care of, but that is separate from today's video. Let me know if you guys have the same problem with the transmission slipping when you're in low speeds. And as far as what the problem is, I am actually not too sure. Is it actually the transmission slipping, or is it something else? Is it old fluid? I really don't know what the cause of that would be. Now, I do know that the Lexuses do have a sealed transmission, which pretty much means the transmission fluid is like, you know, good for forever. I did change the transmission fluid on my LS430, so maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to do this car as well. I'm not too sure, but from doing research, I hear that it is a little bit of a common problem to have that transmission slip. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on what you think it is, number 1, and number 2, do any of you have the same problem? Tank is acquired. You can see this beautiful wrap job I did that I can't wait to take off. Yeah, let's get on the road. Actually, before we hop on the road, we'll take a look at the 650 we got going here. This is my 650. I rode it here. This is like 30 minutes from my house in 18-degree weather, dude. That was insane. Do not recommend. Don't do it. It was horrible. Alrighty, and now we are on to reason number 5 that I hate my Lexus LS430. Now, if you saw our last video, we got the air suspension properly dialed in to have a very nice, comfortable ride on the aftermarket air suspension. This car, the ultra luxury version, comes with a factory air suspension kit right off the lot. That air suspension kit was beautiful, absolutely amazing. Can't really ask for much better of a ride than that. The thing that really frustrated me with that air suspension kit was the fact that it was shot, of course. I know this is like a really lame one, but honestly, I do miss the OEM air suspension on this car quite a bit. So honestly, number 5 genuinely comes down to the fact that I'm envious of those LS430 owners that still have the factory air suspension that's being upheld. Mine was shot, it was going out, and you know, it just really stinks because I missed the ride. The ride was so next level. It was next level. Those of you who've got the UL will totally understand what I'm talking about. and nothing can really touch it unless if obviously it's replaced. Unfortunately, it is so salty out. We need this thing to be cleaned ASAP. This is not okay, but that'll be done in a different video. Thank you guys for watching this video. That concludes my list of the 5 things that I hate about my Lexus LS430. Again, there's not much to hate about this car. This was very difficult to make. All in all, this car has so many more pros than it has cons, and we'll do a pro video here pretty soon. Let me know what you guys thought about this top 5 list of things that I hate about the Lexus LS430. Let me know what would be on your top 5 list, but that effectively concludes today's video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.